Hello, guys. I just wanted to take a little bit and walk you guys through how I start a new coach, what our getting started right call looks like. And then I also, at the bottom of this video, wherever I post this, I will leave the link to my Google document where you have the format of what my getting started right call looks like. And you can feel free to copy this, make it your own. This is just a simple outline that I have used for the past couple new coaches for the last few months that'll help them get started right and make sure they're seeing success in their business early on. So if you're going to be starting a new coach soon, you can check this out. Make sure you listen to this. That way you know, kind of have a format of how to get people started correctly with the business. Even though you're new, if you are new, this is something that you should listen to and read through. So first of all, I'll say thanks for signing up as a coach. We're really excited for you, excited to see how this will change your life. With coaching, there's such a humongous possibility of making an incredible impact on so many people's lives and also your own family's life, or you if you're just by yourself. But what really matters is how you take this business and you run with it. That ultimately determines your success. And I know deep down that you have that grit, you have that potential to do that. First of all, want to say again, I'm so excited that you decided to join us and that you trusted me as your coach to mentor you and to help you go through this journey. Typically, side note, typically at this point, I ask the coach that I'm mentoring, can I shout you out on my social media? And if they say yes, then great, go ahead and either post on your Instagram stories or on your feed welcoming your new coach into your team. Next question I'll ask is, how are you doing with your Beachbody products? Whether that is Beachbody On Demand, Shakeology, Performance Line, what are the results that you have seen or felt so far with them? And this is really key. You want to help your coaches tap into the results that they're getting with Beachbody so far. That way they use that to share with other people. They get used to talking about it. This might be their first time talking about it to somebody. And so really take a little bit of time and talk with them about this. So that way you can really dig into it and you can know what their experience is, be encouraged yourself that you're helping them get these results. And that way later on, if they're like, I don't know what to share, you know how to encourage them to share on social media, share their story, what's happening with them, what they're seeing change mentally, emotionally, physically, and in their heart. Next thing, make sure you have a notebook or a notepad handy to take notes. I highly recommend getting a notebook that's just for Beachbody so you can keep everything in one place. So let's jump in and talk about your why. Why did you decide to become a coach? So can you tell me why did you decide to become a coach? Let them talk about it. Okay, assignment number 1. I want you to dig a little deeper into your why and write it down and journal and reflect on it more after our call, maybe tonight or tomorrow. How do you see yourself living life 5 years from now after being successful from coaching? And seriously, you guys, don't be afraid to get super specific and be like, we've built a house or we have a new car or just different stuff like that. Don't hold back at all. It's fun and scary to dream big. So dream big. Think of things also that will really motivate you and push you. So for me, that's I want to work and train with horses and I want to be able to build our own house. And so those things really motivate me, or working towards the Beachbody Success Club trip. That really motivates me. So in our next call, I want you to tell me what you came up with. Having this specific why and vision has been super instrumental in my daily grind. I started focusing on it this last January, reading my why, my vision, and my goals every single morning. And that completely changed my mindset. It will keep you going when things get tough. You don't want to do the daily mundane tasks or when TV and Netflix are calling your name and they're more attractive than doing your coaching work. So once you have this why written out, I want to challenge you to make sure you're reading this every day for at least 21 days in a row. And as all of the people say, 21 days to make a habit, 90 days to make a lifestyle. I want to push you. Read it for 90 days straight. One thing that has really helped me is to do what's called a habit stacking. So find a habit that you're already really good at, whether that's working out, reading your Bible every day, brushing your teeth before bed, something that's already established that you can add on this habit. So for me, having a quiet time every day is so vital. I tagged this habit, this new habit I wanted to do onto that. So after I'm done reading my quiet time and reading my personal development, I will read my vision, my goals, and my mission statement. Other times could be maybe before your workout, right before you go to sleep. Just pick one time and stick to it. And then every time you read it, make a tally on that sheet so you can keep track of how often you've read it. Another piece of knowledge I want to share with you first about this business is in the beginning, like right now, you maybe feel like you're doing a lot of work, you're doing a lot of learning for a little return. I want to encourage you to stick in there, to stick with it. That work, a lot of work now, will turn into a huge return later down the road. You guys, I'm 4 years into this business of building it part-time. Huge return for taking a couple hours every week through full-time college and being a mom and moving and having a second kid and starting our own roofing company. Being consistent with it over time has led to awesome return, you guys. And I want to encourage you to remember that. There is huge residual income in return for people watching you on social media for years, finally deciding to jump in because they've been watching you for so long and they've finally decided to do it. You guys, it'll pay off and it will encourage and motivate way more people than you ever will realize. And that's really powerful. So in our next call, we'll talk a little bit more about goal setting and some great first goals you should have as a coach. So for right now, I just want you to focus on the assignments we're giving you and being really consistent with your health and fitness journey and sharing it along the ways up. Side note, in your second call with your new coach, this is the only thing that I really make sure to do is, well, I guess there's a couple things, but this is one main thing I want you to do with your new coach is to set those goals with them. It's going to be 2 goals. So your first goal is going to be to hit Success Club. So help 3 people get started with a challenge pack. And it's so simple, you guys. Don't overthink it. The second goal is signing up 2 coaches so they pop to Emerald really fast. You want to be building a business, you have to hit Emerald. And that's when you'll start cycling and getting more income and seeing your business grow. So that's something you know to tuck away in your brain to think about that you want to share and talk about with your new coach on their second call. And the other things that I always talk about with my coaches on my subsequent calls is just talking about how did your week go? What conversations are you having with people? How is your business activity tracker going? What questions can I answer for you? It's just super simple and plain. We talk, we get to know each other, we have fun. But basically, it's just me answering any questions that they have, seeing where their mindset is at, encouraging them in any way that I can, making sure they have access to tools. Okay, back to this. So here is your second assignment. Go to the Beachbody Champions group in Facebook, and I will make sure to add you there, and you'll click on the Units tab. This is where you will find your new coach training, and starting with the very first unit. But first, before this, if this is another side note, if they have not watched the first 5 getting started videos in the Coach Online office that they should have gotten in their email from Beachbody, make sure that they do that in this call with them before they go and watch these new coach videos. Some of this stuff is covered in these new coach videos in Facebook, but it's good for them to watch them in their coach office as well. Okay, there you'll find your new coach training with the very first unit. It has everything you need to know for getting started as a coach, what activities you need to be doing as you move your business forward. So make sure you go through the units and the videos in order. And feel free to shoot me a text as soon as you complete a unit so I kind of know how you're progressing, and always send me any of your questions. So this next part is key dates. Something that I really learned as a coach is you always want to have something specific that you're inviting to. Yeah, we can invite to coaching and we can invite to joining our group, but having like a specific date of something starting, of something going on, really helps people get moving, and it helps you be focused when you're inviting. So things that I always focus on: when my next accountability group. So I always share with my new coaches when my next accountability group is starting, when does the prep week start, kind of how I walk through, how I make sure I'm having people purchase things before and also up until the day that we start the group. And then how I'll add them as a coach admin, that way they can add people or send the link to the group to them as well. They'll know how to work Beachbody on-demand groups through their coach training, so you don't have to worry about that. And it also just depends on what groups you have going on. So for me right now, I have an ongoing customer group and I have some MBF groups going on. So just make sure you share with them kind of what our team groups are doing. If you're my coach and we're doing groups together, then you'll share with them what groups we have going on next. So that way they know what's going on. Also make sure you share with them if they have coach prospects that are interested in coaching and want to give it a whirl. We have like coach info calls once a month. We have our coaching test drive going on. So there's some different stuff that you can invite them to as well. You can send them the link to a past coaching invite call, or you can just simply set up a one-on-one call with them to talk to them about coaching. All right, let's talk about setting business hours. I am a person that tends to lean towards a workaholic tendency, and I get burned out. If you're that way, or maybe if you lean towards not wanting to work and hardly doing anything, setting business hours will help both of us. I don't want you to overwhelm yourself here in the beginning, so make sure you really stick to the schedule that you set, and if you feel if it's too much, just dial back. You get to control your schedule, which is pretty cool. I encourage you to make sure you're devoting at least 1 hour every day and have a day or two off every week. Just make sure that you're doing what works for you and then do your best to stick to it so you can really see how it works for you. And you might have to get pretty creative in how you do it. Maybe you have to get up 30 minutes earlier in the morning to do 30 minutes of work, or sacrifice an hour of TV time in the evening, or 30 minutes over lunch. Using your time really wisely will benefit you not only now, but down the road. Okay, time to switch gears a little bit. One thing that's really key in growing ourselves as a person and a coach is doing personal development. And so with my new coaches, I always talk here, what would you say is one weakness of yours that you struggle with consistently? Is it being motivated to work, driven, work ethic, or is it mindset? Like, are you believing self-limiting beliefs about yourself? I don't know, there's so many things. So you can really dig in with them a little bit here, figure out what they struggle with. And if you don't really know, you can't really come down to it. One book that I really recommend for all new coaches to read is The Compound Effect. Great, great, great book. This will teach you and walk you through why it's good to start something and how it will compound over time. Something I do personally as a coach is when I walk through this new sign-up process with my coaches, I like to gift them their first personal development book to start reading. So that's why I walk through with them to figure out kind of what their interests are. And I'll tell them, based off what you said, I'll send you a couple of recommendations that I think might be good for you. And you can read the descriptions and tell me what resonates with you the most. And then I'll buy it for you and send it to you. And if I haven't read it, I'll buy it for myself too, and we'll read it together. So that's just something fun that I like to do as a thank you for signing up as a coach, and just something fun for us to do together so I can also make sure that they're really growing in their personal life as well. In the meantime, though, for personal development, you can go to the coach office, click on the training tab, and then the team and personal development tab, and then finally the success on demand at the bottom. You can watch a video or read an article every day from there, or you can listen to some podcasts. I have some great podcast recommendations for you guys. Feel free to ask me anytime for something. This may seem like something you can really just put aside, like, it's not a big deal. I'm a great person. Like, I don't need to work on myself. Don't be prideful, number one. And number two, I did that mistake and it held me back a lot. So don't discount it. This is really what will actually get your business off of the ground. So one last thing overall I want to really ingrain in your brain is to connect with me, to talk to me anytime. Seriously, all the time. You're not ever bugging me. I do really well with, if I get texts and I'm busy, I won't respond until I'm not busy. Or if I'm with my family and I get texts and they aren't super important, I'll wait to answer them until the evening. So seriously, you're not bugging me at all. Always tell us if you're feeling overwhelmed, you don't know what to do next. It is seriously your responsibility to connect with me, ask me questions, make sure I know what's going on with you so I can best help you. And always remember, no question is stupid. Remember all of my teachers saying that, but it's really true. So at this point, I also like to make sure I'm setting up a regular weekly call with my new coaches. And I always tell them, like, let's figure out a date and a time. So sometimes we'll sit right there on the call and figure it out, what day and time we'll do it. Sometimes it has to be flexible with their work schedule. Whatever needs to happen can happen. But I want to encourage you to make sure you're talking to your new coaches weekly for a while, until they're doing really well. They're doing the back consistently. They're not having a ton of questions. They're just doing really, really well. And you feel as if you don't need to talk as often, then maybe move it to every other week. But really do keep up the weekly calls for quite a while. So that's actually it. Super quick, super easy. I ask them if they have any questions, and then also ask what's one thing that excites you the most about coaching, and what's one thing that you're most nervous about. So this is a lot of times where a really good discussion comes up about if they're feeling nervous about social media or anything like that. And to share part of my story, you guys, I did not hardly ever post on social media before I became a coach. I'm super nervous. I'm an introvert. I love being by myself and at home. I'm not comfortable talking in person with people. I'm not outgoing. I'm shy by nature. And so what you're seeing now, you're like, I know some of you might be thinking, I can never be like her. I can never be so talkative on social media or on my stories. Guys, I've been doing this for 4 years, and it's taken 4 years of growth and stepping out of my comfort zone and figuring out what works and what's comfortable for me and for my audience to get me to this point. And so just be encouraged. Take little steps out of your comfort zone all the time. Start posting on your stories. Talk in your stories to people. People love seeing your face, you guys. I love it when I'm following people on Instagram and they don't hardly ever post themselves, but then all of a sudden they'll have some stories of themselves talking, and I'm like, oh, I love it. I love seeing their face and seeing how they talk, and just, it helps me to connect with them. So that's how you're going to build trust with your followers and with your friends. So if you guys have any questions, just make sure you leave them below. You can text me, text your coach, whatever. Hopefully this call was helpful, and have a great night.